Yeah.
We are live. Hello.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to TrendSpider Live. My name is Mike, and we're here with Brad, head of marketing at TrendSpider. What's going on, Brad?
Hey, how's it going? Happy Friday.
Pretty good. Yeah, happy Friday. Got a long
Got some
weekend
movements
ahead of
going
us.
on here.
Yeah. Let's pull up. We had a couple economic events this morning. We had PCE data, which came in pretty much on par, so nothing crazy there. And then we also had consumer sentiment, which came in slightly under expectations. Yeah, we had I got the 15-minute open here on the SPY. Let me pull up the ES. Why not? Get some futures action going. But yeah, it started off with some good bearish momentum, but it's really slowed down ever since.
30 points, not too big.
Yeah, but let's ask Sidekick what's going on here. Asked it to check out the consumer sentiment data and the PCE news from this morning. Tell us what Sidekick has to say about that. Yeah, let's see. So we got ES pulled up. Really, yeah, this is a 15-minute chart and still not really moving. Let's see the 5-minute real quick. This straight consolidation. Funny because the data was announced like right here, pretty much at the bottom, so didn't really cause a whole lot of volatility. Let's see what Sidekick says. Yeah, so consumer sentiment came in just slightly below expectations. So nothing crazy there. 1-year inflation expectations slightly better, slightly lower than expected.
Nice.
PCE data came in right as expected. So yeah, pretty much agree with Sidekick here. PCE data was a non-event. And Michigan.
That's nice for Powell's take last week, I guess.
Yeah, 100%. Powell is basically saying September rate cuts. And now that we got this in just as expected, there's no way it can really change his mind from what he said last time, since it's pretty much exactly what they were expecting. Yeah, so it says Michigan sentiment data is a little bit more concerning, but nothing crazy. Good morning, everybody. Yeah.
Well, I think you're seeing some pessimistic approach from consumers right now. I mean, the housing market's been fairly flat into higher rates.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem like, it seems like the markup in inflation has stopped, but consumers, at least in my area, are still fairly wary. Like, nothing like 2020, or let's call it 2021, maybe.
Yeah.
Things are a bit wild post-COVID.
Yeah. Feel that.
Every PCE data in line, someone didn't want to get fired.
Very
true. Very true.
Yep. So let's see. I'm going to keep moving on with Sidekick here. Let's see just how the market is reacting to this data in real time. See if we can find anything cool on our charts. So looking at the 5 minutes. Probably go into 15. Let's start flicking up some movers here.
Yeah, what are we going to do here? Chop all day down here or go back up and test where we came from? I mean, it's going to be an interesting next hour or two here, I guess.
Yeah, just saying market initially sold off, SPY dropped. If we pull up the daily chart, you can see, there's a drop. Let me pull up SPY's daily. Yeah, nothing crazy. Definitely just a Friday sell-off. We do have some movers on the social tickers list here. We got BABA up 11%, 12%. Nice. On some news that they are now trying to have a chip competing with NVIDIA. We got a firm up pretty good on earnings. Kind of a crazy wick there. Let's see. And yeah, let me pull up NVIDIA.
What's the news with BABA?
Let's ask Sidekick, but what is the news on BABA? Why is it up so much today? But yeah, it was AI news.
Earnings, guidance.
Yeah. So let's see what Sidekick has to say.
Dr. Goose said gold. Yeah. Gold's been on a ripper for a while. GLD. Some of the subjects are putting up crazy earnings too.
Look at that. Gold is basically about to break out right now to the upside. Pretty cool. Yeah, let's check out BABA. 12% up today, obviously. Earnings revenue beat.
New
but
AI
EPS
chip, that's why
missed.
NVIDIA is selling off. Interesting.
Yeah, so new AI chip development. Biggest news that Alibaba developed a new AI chip that's compatible. Let's say that can handle more AI workloads and is compatible with NVIDIA tools, which is very big, which is why, yeah, again, what Brad just said, NVIDIA and the whole semiconductor market really is trending down. That cloud revenue up 26%. So yeah, very cool stuff.
Yeah, that chip's crazy because earlier today we were looking at SMH and like the entire semi sector sold off on news like that.
Yeah, it's interesting. But it's probably because SMH mainly has, American companies, if I'm not mistaken. I'm sure.
Yeah, right. At least weighted that way.
Yeah, exactly.
But that's interesting. That's the first kind of e-com player to start producing hardware. Maybe that's the
That
best way.
is. Was not expecting that. I don't know if I was not expecting them to start producing chips at all.
Yeah, I mean, I've been seeing a lot of the news about it. What can you believe from them? I don't know.
Yeah, right.
I don't trade that stock, but people do.
Yeah. Let's see. Cannabis is slightly up. I've been tracking this MSOS ETF a little bit lately. It's probably, honestly, unless good news actually comes out, it's probably going to start hitting its peak soon. Maybe come back down. But I don't know. That's a fun one to watch.
Yeah, they've been talking about Trump legalizing, so I guess it's been a trigger for a while. It's so beat. These names get so beat down. It's crazy.
It's insane. I mean, it's the same story every time. It's like, oh, maybe good news doesn't happen. So it could be just another nothing burger. But something I've been watching. It's kind of fun. What else? Google's at all-time highs today. That's cool.
What a recovery there. Nice.
Yeah. Pretty nice for Google. Let's see what's trending down today on social tickers. Yeah, up is down 18%. Kind of insane.
Hey, look at that on the daily. Oh yeah, nice.
Yeah.
This one moves like crazy.
Yeah, for sure. We got Dell, I think. Yeah, they had earnings. Dell had earnings. They're down pretty good on the day. What else we got? Weeble's an interesting one with Hood kind of ripping. The Weeble trade kind of interests me, honestly. I don't know how much I trust it.
Weeble's a good platform.
Yeah, I don't hate it at all. I mean, I think it's honestly potentially a good long-term hold.
You analyze their earnings real quick, then we'll hop in. Yeah. I'm interested.
Yeah, sounds good. It's a Chinese company, right? And it's interesting because the China stocks are up pretty good today, and they're down pretty good.
Yeah, that's the first positive EPS I've seen. I mean, there's not a lot of EPS prints, but
there's not. Yeah, let me take
might be a flush to buy. Year-over-year growth, 46%.
Nice.
Yeah, 131 revenue. Nice.
Let's see.
That's good to see them growing.
And they're down on that.
Yeah, that's kind of what you want to see.
Yeah, that's interesting, isn't it?
Yeah.
I've been thinking about grabbing some of this and just holding it. Maybe soon will be the time. IPO, is this a SPAC or IPO? It's like about 11 or so.
Yeah.
Went out. So maybe it'll flush below there, but who knows?
Yeah, I mean, a move like that is crazy. To get like 5x in a day, or I guess this is a week.
Yeah, that was a week.
Usually that's like BMNR, the one that everyone's been talking about too.
Yeah.
Didn't range for a long time. I mean, we'll see. We'll see with Palantir right now. Like Palantir's way overextended. Was it going to do churn forever or continue higher? A lot of people said that NVIDIA would churn forever and it continued higher. Never really.
Yeah, NVIDIA is definitely defied the bears constantly.
Yeah. Big growth buybacks selling off into it. But I mean, like, coming from the lows, like we're just not really doing anything quite yet. Maybe distributing.
Yeah.
Strong.
Yeah, I might consolidate here. build another base like this before next leg up. See what happens, or down. Who knows?
Yeah, or it's just shelving.
Yeah, with
But
this Boba news, who knows?
all right, Mike, let's get
Yeah,
into the real reason we're here today. That was a nice review of some of the,
yeah,
what's going on in the market today.
yeah. So again, if you guys are just joining in, welcome. Today we're going to be revealing and pretty much giving away $10,000 to all the hackathon winners. If you guys didn't know, we just ran a hackathon for the last month, and we're literally about to reveal the winners that are going to win $10,000 in cash prizes today.
10K in cash, very nice.
Yeah, very, very
Yeah, this
sick.
this went really well. We've had a ton of great entries for this hackathon. It was something, we were experimenting with to show off our new public marketplace and the ability for all users, any of you watching that have a TrendSpider account, to publish indicators to the marketplace. Very soon to be paid indicator suite support as well. Right now, just public free indicators. But our main point is like we really want to build out our infrastructure of available indicators. There's so many different ways to trade. We can't, build for all of them. So we're going to have to offload to the community and watch what you guys can build. So this is a great, attempt at that. We had over 80 submission indicators submitted, which was great. A lot of great stuff, a lot of interesting takes on stuff too. So
Yeah, no, very cool. Over 80 submissions. There's so many sick indicators added to our store now. There's a few different categories they could have submitted to, or you could have submitted to. On chart indicators, lower indicators, overlays, and then even TrendSpider supports external API integration. So you could have submitted your own, even with your own APIs, your own data, and just connected indicators via that way. And then all you had to do was basically, of course, all the content had to be new to the TrendSpider store. Even if it was on another platform, you just have to transfer it over to JavaScript, which is what we use here on TrendSpider. Fill out a submission form, tag hashtag TSBuild25 in your indicator description, and it had to be free access for anybody to use on our store. So if you're a TrendSpider trader now, you can already go ahead and access these indicators completely for free on the store page. I'll show you in a second. Then one script, one entry. Of course, only one script can be entered. And then, basically Brad here, our head of marketing, was one of the judges. And then Russ, our head of development, was the other judge. And then James was the third judge, our head of support. So they were busy judging 80 plus indicators over the last month or so, reviewing them, putting in work, because there were so many submitted, which is great.
And we did our best to judge across these categories and be equal, give each category was equal weight. So, visual clarity, is it easy to understand for a trader at a glance? Utility, is it genuinely useful in real world? Execution, does it function properly? There's a lot of aspects of TrendSpider. So you have signals being registered in the scanner strategy tester. And visual scripting in general working, that's a part of it. And then also you have functionality on chart, is the math correct, stuff like that,
right?
And then presentation in the store, this is an interesting one, mainly because a lot of this is new. So how descriptive is your writing? Is a customer going to be able to understand how to use the tool?
Yeah, we want to make sure it's super simple and straightforward for anybody to pull up our store page. If you can see right here, this is our home page of the store. We have tons of collections in here already.
Quick to show them how to navigate from the main page too. Just go back to the website.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. So from the home page, if you guys don't know, if you go to products, top left.
Yeah.
And then add-on marketplace, there's a quick select right to get to the page Mike's showing off. Just select that
right here. It's under products, add-on marketplace, and boom, brings you right to the store right here. And you can see all of these submissions in this first one right here that says 2025 hackathon. So we'll go ahead and click on this for the collection. And
there's a broad range of collections at the top too. So ranging from some paid suites some interesting suites like Polymarket, Earnings Collection, Mentor Q levels, suites from Simpler Trading, and Matt Caruso. So there's a lot of good stuff in this new store that we have.
Yeah, the store is incredible. So many more indicators now, thanks to the community for you guys submitting them, and not just indicators, there's also scanners and strategies that you can import to your platform as well, all for free. Pretty much like 95% of the stuff on here is completely for free for all TrendSpider users. So definitely, if you haven't seen this, take a look, especially now with all these new custom indicators that were submitted. So yeah,
and we've been sharing them all week on social, and they live here or in the platform. So searching in platform in the indicator dialog box will bring them up, or through any of these marketplace pages.
You just go to custom indicators at the bottom here, and then to store, you can see all the ones from the store. You can see yours, all these different tabs, but the store one, you can just click on any of these, like this one, for example, and bring you right to the store page. So super easy, super easy. But yeah, there's 80 plus indicators in here. So we wanted to cover some of our favorites, some of the most notable ones. Let me go back to the first page here. The first one we're going to be covering is called Trend Strength Candles by Dr. Goose.
Yeah, this one was very nice.
Yeah, one of my, honestly, probably one of the better ones. I really like it. It's very easy to read. It's, as you can see in this image, it's just candle coloring. It does a lot of the math in the background for you. But basically what it does is it provides a real-time visualization of trend intensity by coloring each price candle based on the strength of the current market move. This one's cool too because it uses a gradient coloring system, which means it's not just like 3 colors that it uses. Actually kind of, is a gradient kind of, which is allows you to see the trend a little bit easier and how it's changing. And it also, the indicator calculates a trend score using 1 to 3 user selectable methods. And then it's normalized for volatility by scaling it with the average true range, which is very good, so that it works consistently across different symbols and time frames. Different stocks have different levels of volatility, so that's pretty important. And the core calculation methods are here. You can use price change, the EMA slope, and MA distance. And then
very nice piece.
Yeah. And then the color scheme is listed down here. Again, it's gradient coloring rather than simple color ranges, which provides a more nuanced view of the trend evolution. And then the color scheme, it goes from lime to cyan, which represents a strengthening uptrend. Coral to magenta represents a strengthening downtrend. And then gray indicates a neutral or choppy market with no directional strength. So let's see how it looks. It's a very beautiful indicator. We'll pull it up on my chart right now. Right here. Let's pull it up. Yeah, we already have NVIDIA up. Let's take a look here. Let me close this real quick. But as you can see, very, very beautiful indicator. Doesn't clutter your charts at all. And then if you go into the settings right here with the 3 dots, you can change those methods from price change to EMA slope to MA distance. You can use EMAs or SMAs for either, change the length, the look back periods, the ATR length, all that
a lot
stuff.
Of flexibility here.
Yeah, lots of stuff that you can customize and choose to your liking. And if you take a look at NVIDIA right here, it did mark these trends and find the reversals pretty quickly, I will say. Here in this December to April or May sort of decline, it went from these neutral candles, so it started with the green, of course, the lime, went to neutral, and then actually caught onto this bearish trend a little bit soon. Like it went up a little bit, but it caught onto this bearish momentum pretty quickly there and followed it all throughout this downtrend here. And
it's basically showing that you're starting to chop in range, especially if you move over to the left. Like NVIDIA had been sitting there for a while. So it is fluctuating. You get some breakouts. They're kind of weak. It rolls over and sets that downtrend that actually ended up making a new low in the 90s. Quite scary. It's scary on the chart. 150 to 90, I guarantee you, is pretty scary, something you don't want to be involved with. But
Yeah.
As soon around May, we started getting these a little bit of consolidation, then green signals, and then an amazing cyan trend to ride into basically right now, where you have a similar situation where price is just really not, let's call it, failing to go much higher for the moment. Earnings wasn't too big of a reaction in either way. But the main point of this indicator that I love is being able to tap into verified existing trends and ride them.
Yeah.
It's not going to give you, stops. It's more a visual look at where, when powerful trends emerge, essentially.
Yep. Yeah. 100%. And it caught this trend flip pretty early on too. You see the slime candle and immediately went to cyan. And ever since it went to cyan, it really held. And just until recently, it basically, like the recent top here, interesting enough, it went to lime, and now it's showing a little bit of a warning sign here, especially after earnings. Nothing crazy, just some neutral candles, but nonetheless, very, very nice indicator there by Dr. Goose, who I saw in the audience. So I appreciate your submissions, Dr. Goose. Very cool stuff. All right, let's go. Keep it moving a little bit along here.
Yeah.
We'll take a look
But
at
definitely nice execution there. I like being able to select, different momentum, indicators, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
For calculations to smooth it out. And then the different, smoothing methods is very nice. So just like all around end to end, very nice piece here.
Yeah, I agree. Very, very nice submission. All right. And the next one we're going to get into here, we're going to get into a couple indicators that probably favor futures traders more than anybody else. Starting with the fringe indicator by Mark. I believe that's how you say that name. But basically what the fringe indicator does is it draws Friday's range levels into the next week. So pretty straightforward. It's going to map out Friday's levels and then, again, just plot them as lines going into the next week, giving you some levels to trade as a futures trader.
Yeah, I mean, it can work across anything. What you want to look at for this one in these ranges is, there's short intraday bursts or intra-week bursts, right? And it was a really cool way of mapping that from the Friday before. I think it's biased in a way, like you either care about Friday range or not. But when we were reviewing this, there was a lot of alpha in that range. So I definitely appreciate the input. It's a pretty cool indicator.
Yeah. No, yeah. And then the next one, a little bit similar. It's called futures pre-market range. Again, marks a couple levels on your chart. Designed for futures again, but technically, yeah, you could really use it for anything. Well, I think this one is probably even better for futures because it you set the time frame and it can use overnight data, of course, and that's what it defaults to. Is it plots the high and low of the overnight session, and then highlights it on your chart. Again, giving you some levels to look at for the rest of the day. So yeah, pretty straightforward. So let's take a look at it on the charts. We'll pull up our ES chart now, and we'll add these indicators.
Yeah, this one's pretty interesting because you can set your own range. It's preset to the pre-market range, and it does have signals that register across visual scripting, which is nice. So 2 range indicators useful for, range scalpers. Again, all I want to say for stocks and the pre-market range indicator that if you have extended hours data on for stocks, it will quickly.
For sure. Yeah, if we take a look at the futures pre-market range indicator settings, you can see, like Brad said, it's completely customizable with the start hour even down to the minute, the end hour down to the minute. And as you can see, it's set for overnight session by default. You can even change the time zone differential if you wanted. And then, very cool stuff.
Very simple, but very nice, very useful. I know we have a lot of orb traders, so pre-market range seems pretty useful.
Definitely. You can see like this morning, broke below the overnight range and could have definitely probably taken the trade on that. I'm not as much as an intraday trader as Brad or futures trader, but definitely seems like some useful ranges to use there. And then
it's really cool to map those ranges out because I remember for time in TrendSpider's history where it wasn't as simple. So it's cool to see all these solutions for that are right out of the box and even preset times.
Yeah, and you can see here it gives like the little signals on the chart as well, which is always a nice addition to just, you know, the regular levels that it shows.
Yeah, which are
So
scannable across, you know, futures pairs.
exactly.
Really,
Yep.
any list that you want to scan across.
Yep. Cool. And then yeah, let's take a look at the
I'm having
fringe.
some trouble having some trouble getting above there. Still in range today.
Yep. And then fringe indicator here. Basically what this one does, again, it maps Friday's range. So today is Friday, so it's actually mapping out right now. Kind of fun to see it do it in real time. But yeah, it's just going to map out, you know, Friday's levels, and it's going to mark each day on your chart, obviously from Sunday,
trade during the week.
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And you know, you see a couple of reactions off of these levels, which is really nice to see. From last Friday here, that looks like
I mean, what time is that? What day is that?
that is August 25th.
Oh, it says it on chart. I think that was Monday afternoon. Yeah, push back into demand. And the only point was like you saw that big expansion on Friday from the pound news, and that was as far as they could push back in, which is quite interesting. Quite interesting that it mapped it too, because it was about the same as the initial push out of the news. Too. So
yeah, very wild range.
Really interesting. Have.
Yeah.
And plotting trailing levels. Very nice. Also, it should work in backtesting too, because it plots them in history. So that's cool.
Yep. Always nice. So we'll see what today's range brings. Maybe we'll get some more downturn. Maybe we'll just keep consolidating like it is. But nonetheless, some very cool indicators there for all the futures traders out there.
Yeah. And again, all these lines, right click, add alerts anytime. And they'll trail forward into the future. So that's nice. You know, alerts can be tied into webhooks too, so they can trigger trades as well.
Yeah, right into your broker with Signal Stack, or just alerts, however you want to do it. All right. Okay. So let's go ahead and move along here. We got a few more we want to take a look at. Starting with some more trend following ones. We'll start with the Dynamo Clouds, they're called. This one's pretty cool. It's another cloud indicator. This one is an adaptive trend following tool that uses a variation of the VIDYA, or the variable index dynamic average, combined with the Sean momentum oscillator, or the CMO. Plots 3 lines, short, long, and balance. And uses the color coded clouds so you can visualize the trend direction and strength. So the
Mike, Dan is here. I'm going to add him to stage to join us whenever you're ready.
Yeah, let's do it.
What is going on, guys? Hey,
what's up, Dan? How you doing, man?
Here. I was getting a little sad. You guys never invite me on the streams.
Dude, you're welcome to come up anytime. Love to have you.
So for those who don't know, this is Dan, our CEO, but you probably talked to him at some point in your journey with our product. He's a very active CEO. So and he'll be joining us for the drawings.
Yep. Yeah, Dan.
So right now we're just going through some notables first before we get into winners. So I'll let you proceed, Mike.
Sounds good. Yeah, Dan, we're just covering the Dynamo Cloud right now. So it's a color-coded cloud, and it can help you. Here's the use cases right here. The color of the cloud between the short and long lines indicates the current trend. Obviously, green for uptrend, red for downtrend. And then the distance between the short and long lines can indicate trend strength. And then the balance line and its relation to the other lines can signal potential counter trend movements or exhaustion. And then, of course, crossovers between the short and the long lines can indicate trend changes. All right, so let's take a quick look at this one. Or actually, let me cover the other one.
I know you want to go through another one too, but this one's pretty interesting because it's biased in a way where the user has input what he expects, so it's not on the user user of the indicator to input their own bias. And I really like that, because a lot of indicators have so many settings that you can somewhat get lost in them. This one has a bias that outlines some really clear trends.
Yeah, definitely. So it's you either use it as is or you don't trust it. So one or the other. And then a couple more that go along with this pretty nicely. First being the link line. This one's super simple, super easy to use, super easy to read. You can see the description's pretty clean here. Link line is a clean volatility aware Heikin-Ashi channel designed to reveal directional bias without clutter. So very simple. It's just 3 bands on your chart. The channel will glow mint green when there's a bullish bias. A bearish bias will glow coral red, and then neutral will rest in gray. And so pretty simple. And we see it on the chart. You guys will see exactly what that is. And then one more trend following indicator that's really cool. I wanted to show you guys, or we wanted to show you guys, is the trend bars with the Oku. I'm going to butcher this again. Oku Ninushi filter.
Ninushi.
I got to take a couple times to say it before I can say it. Oku Ninushi filter. And this one combines trend bars with the Oku Ninushi line filter to identify and color bullish and bearish trends. Basically, it's one line on your chart that kind of acts as support or resistance, and then it colors candles either green or red to indicate bullish or bearish trend flips. Very easy to read, actually very useful.
Three standout trend followers. Very nice.
Yeah, for sure. And
I really like the link line. That one I found to be really interesting because in the past I've tried to experiment with similar ideas of blending Heikin-Ashi with traditional candles, and it did it in such an elegant way.
Yeah, no, it really is elegant. Just 3 lines
and clean signals too. Yeah.
Yeah, very easy, very good. So yeah, let's just go ahead and maybe just take a look at these on the chart so we can see how they look. Let's add them real quick. So we're going to add the Dynamo Cloud, and you can add these all super easily just with the indicator window. Even if you don't have them added from the store yet, they will pop up right here. Link line, and then trend bars with Oku Ninushi filter. And let's take a look at this one on something that's a really good trender, or just is really always trending up, like Visa. Let's start with the Dynamo Cloud here. So as you can see, pretty nice looking indicator overall. Something like Visa on the weekly is always kind of trending up, and as you can see, it is reacting pretty closely with the bottom of this cloud line right here as it increases. And you see right here, it flipped from a green cloud to a red cloud during the 2022 bear market. And then once it flipped right here back in early 2023, it has pretty much ridden this cloud all the way up on this weekly chart. And if you look at the same thing,
that's a really nice trend.
Yeah, kind of similar with the link line, almost identical with the link line. If you look at it, I have them both plotted right now. The coral and the red cloud on the link line and the Dynamo Cloud line up almost to the T right here with these cloud flips, kind of, double confirmation there. And then I'll go ahead and show you guys the trend bars with the Oku Ninushi filter. And then you can see here what this one does is it basically has this line that shows you the overall strength of the trend. If the price is above it or breaking above it, it shows these green candles indicating a potential, trend flip to the upside. And then it paints some green candles even when it's not breaking above to show, strong bullish trends right there. And vice versa with the red. You can see when it broke under this line right here, flashed a red candle, rest are gray. So really clean, really easy to read. Good signals in there. So yeah, very nice trend following indicators here. Definitely can use them on different time frames as well. We go to daily charts. I think we're looking at like GEV with it earlier as well.
With the Dynamo Cloud. Link line is very nice for this one as well. But it produces a nice pocket above, and so if you're trailing green above the green pocket, so you have your confirmation signal. But you'll notice with those red clouds too, there's only one brief period where you started to perform kind of overperform to the downside. So this has been a strong trender for a long time and created great buy opportunities in backtest to that let's call it an expansion zone. So very clean indicator here, great for more swing type traders, but also great for intraday traders as well. But if you take a look at this specific chart and then bring up link line,
link line,
is also very smooth through this type of consolidation period. But yeah, turn dynamo off.
Yeah.
Yeah, so very smooth through this type of period. And if you zoom out even more, I mean, you'll see this kept you in the entire way.
Yeah, very nice.
For a very long time.
All the way from down here.
Very nice indicator. Very useful for swing traders, trailers, and trading new stuff. I know this morning we were looking at up too. Same thing on the daily.
Yep, look at that.
Very similar. Once that's a clear character change for this one.
Yeah, look at that.
And almost a 2x move out of that range.
Yeah, flipped right above these bands, flipped green, and almost flipped red right there. But in general, kept you in and caught a nice move on that.
Yeah, all of these too can be used in scanning. You can see how price tends to go away from the link line, but in a very strong trend, the link line back tests are a great, buy signal most times, right? So
for sure.
You can scan across the whole NASDAQ. You can scan across futures. You can use them in back tests. They're really useful throughout the entire platform, for using things like trend filters or gauging when to enter.
Yeah, 100%. You can take all these indicators, or all of them that register signals, and create scanners out of them, and then also create strategies out of them. The platform can really tie them all together very nicely, for sure. Cool. So keep it moving along here. We'll check out some new indicators called about divergences. Let's type in RSI. We got some nice divergence indicators in the hackathon, and right now we're gonna look at the candle edition ones. Libertas created a few divergence indicators, both candle editions and lower editions. We're going to take a look at the candle ones here. Basically what this does, the RSI divergences candle edition, is it basically, you don't even need to look at the RSI, and it identifies divergences right on your chart as a little label. Very easy to read, very clean. Of course, the bull label indicates a bullish divergence, RSI divergence that is, and then bear label indicates a bearish one, and it also marks pivot points based on your selected look back period, which is a nice little touch as well.
Nice touch.
Yeah, and all this is customizable: the RSI length, the look back periods. You can make the label shorter, and he has a couple other ones. Another similar one we're going to show you guys at the same time here is the OBV divergence indicator. The candle one, and this is pretty much same type of thing, but instead of looking for RSI divergences, this looks for OBV divergences.
Yeah,
so
very nice execution here on the labels too. It's very clean.
Yeah, for sure. And again, same thing, same labels, bull, bear, and pivot. But again, just looking at the OBV instead of the RSI, all customizable in the same way. So let's go take a look at them on the chart here. Adam, just with the indicator dialog again, and OBV divergences. And we'll pull up something like Apple, and let's take a look. So right now we have active on the chart the RSI divergences. So this is basically how the indicator looks. Again, it's just these simple labels, marks pivot points. And if you go into the settings, again, it's all customizable right here with the look back periods and the RSI length. You can make the label shorter if you don't want them that big. We'll just leave it as default for now. But if you go back here, you can see it marks some pretty good, points. It marked a bearish RSI divergence, probably literally at the peak there in December 2024. Another decent one there before, a smaller downtrend. And then over here, at the bottom of the April 2024 lows, it marked this bullish divergence multiple times, which is really nice. You can see the price making lower lows there, which means the RSI is probably making higher lows. And
less powerful lows.
Yep. Yeah, definitely.
I once spent like 6 months trying to get this to work myself, and I could not figure it out. So I love seeing this one and the other ones that focus on divergences, because I think divergences are hard to spot, right? This makes it a lot easier.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Yeah, and somewhat biased too. Like, you know, they're not exact sciences, so it's always interesting.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, I suppose in some ways they are, but how you define them is not an exact science. So this was a very, very clean definition. I love the look back periods added to it. It adds a lot of functionality to, you know, what you want to show, what time periods that you're viewing them in. So just make sure to play around with different look back periods to match your time frame, declutter it, seeing too many signals, realize that the pivots related to that look back window. But this is a very clean one. Shows up in scans, scripting, and everywhere else.
Yeah, just simple bold labels right there, super easy to spot. This is the OBV divergences I have up on the chart now. As you can see, it kind of labeled the same bullish divergence. You can technically put them both on your chart if you wanted and see when they line up, which is kind of interesting as well. You see they line up right there, the two bear ones. Yeah, so really, really clean, really easy to read. Yeah, pretty straightforward too. So
go to SPY right now. What are we getting? 5 minutes.
Let's see. 5 minute. Let's see.
We're gonna rip today. Oh, we got some.
Look at that. There's a couple of bullish divergences. I think it's
gonna
live. Look at that. They're lining up. Yeah, that's cool.
That's nice. That's nice.
Made a lower low in the SPY. That'd be. I mean, it's looking okay so far.
I love these labels. These are so nice.
I know. Yeah, very clean. Very, very clean. But yeah, definitely super easy. Like you said, like even you can use it intraday, as you can see right here, regardless if you're, you know, day trading, swing trading, whatever it is. Doesn't clutter up your chart at all. So, you know, definitely worth checking out, throwing up there.
Or, I'm curious, did the author of this explain what pivot means versus like bearish divergence?
It's I believe it's just the highest and lowest price within the selected look back period. Yeah. Got it.
Okay. That's cool.
Yeah.
That's why you kind of saw that one roll over. Go back to the chart, Mike. You'll see like the look back period must have changed. I think you're set to like 55 candles right now, but you broke that low and you got a pivot there. I guess it was this morning around like 6 a.m. So, and then the look back period resets, but it's really nice. That's what I meant on lower time frames. You're going to want to open up that look back period or potentially shorten it depending on, you know, what size of range you want to look at.
Yep, for sure, for sure.
But you know, makes it adjustable, makes it nice, works across scripting. Very good execution here.
Yep, for sure, for sure. Very clean stuff. Thank you, Libertas, for those submissions. If you're out there in the chat, thank you. Moving along here, let's get into another one by the Trade Seekers called the triple stochastic RSI. So we'll take a look at this one here. This one's pretty cool. Kind of a lot going on, but once you kind of learn how it, you know, reads, it's pretty cool. So basically, it's a triple stochastic RSI, which combines 3 stochastic RSI indicators with different lengths or periods to provide, you know, a fast, slow, and slowest line on your lower chart panel. And it's all customizable. You can spot, you know, overbought, oversold levels pretty easily on any different lengths. And it also gives you this nice statistical overlay, which we'll show you guys on the chart. It shows current and average streak lengths above and below the midpoint, which is very cool. Usable in scanners, always nice. Love to see that. So let's just go ahead and take a look at this one on the chart because it's definitely more of a visual one. Let's see. Add it to my indicators right here. Had kind of an interesting example on this one with Goldman Sachs as well. If I pull it up on the chart, so you can see it is on the lower indicator right here. And what you're going to see here is these 3 lines. The fast line is, of course, the fastest one. And then the orange is going to be the slow one, and then kind of this magenta is the kind of medium slow. And so basically the way I was kind of looking at this one specifically is I was noticing that there is kind of a divergence between the three. The slowest line has been above, in overbought territory for quite a while now, specifically for 64 candles, at least above the midpoint there that you can see in the statistical table.
Getting close to the max there. Max was at 71.
Right. Well, yeah, this it actually shows both. So the average for up was 49, and then average below is the it's
so it's well above average.
Yeah, it is. So it's been basically above, and that's the midpoint. It's not for the top line. So basically what that's saying is this orange line has been above the midpoint on the daily chart for 64 days, which is pretty well above the average. Just pretty cool. Yeah, pretty cool stat to see just right there.
Banks have been doing very well.
Yeah, no, definitely. You can see it's been consolidating since, basically July, about a month now, going sideways. And during that time, you saw the slow line kind of moving down here, diverging away from the two. And the fast one, is always just kind of going crazy up and down. So that one's good for your shorter term moves. Works pretty well, depending on what time frame you're looking at or length of trade. But yeah, triple stochastic RSI, pretty straightforward, but you see this divergence. You can kind of use as maybe a reaccumulation level right here with the slow line coming down to these oversold levels. And then the slowest one has been still in overbought territory. So can take that with a grain of salt, however you want to look at it. But
it's a really nice take on the statistics table, honestly.
Yeah,
I like it a lot.
No, it's great. Yeah, definitely good just to have, just to see, what's going on. It's over the last about 1,300 bars you can see, and it also provides us an overall sentiment. Right now it's saying neutral, which kind of lines up with, this whole consolidation period that we've been seeing for a while now. So yeah, very nice from the trade seekers. So we'll keep it moving along here. Let's see, go to the next one called momentum filters. The next notable entry we're going to show you guys today. Another fairly simple yet effective indicator. It's really nice. It uses EMAs. So the momentum filter is a trend analysis oscillator designed to identify periods of strong and directional momentum versus periods of consolidation, using 3 distinct EMAs to filter out market noise and just provide a clear lower indicator. Basically, the way it works is pretty straightforward. When you got a green histogram, or I'll show how it works, because it uses ATRs as well. So the indicator displays a histogram that measures the spread between the 3 EMAs, and then it's compared against a dynamic filter line based on the average true range, which is important. So it normalizes across, any asset based on their volatility. But yeah, obviously when the histogram is green, signifies that there is bullish momentum and it's strong and decisive, clear uptrend. Vice versa with the red, indicates bearish momentum is in control and in a strong downtrend. Then of course gray is consolidation. The EMAs are tight together, indicating a lack of a clear direction. And you can use this for trend confirmation to filter out, chop, and then it's also customizable.
Really nice one. Yeah, really nice way to filter out chop here, especially for depending on, I use a lot of chop filters in back testing too, not necessarily for correction. And compiled like that is pretty nice.
Yeah, no, I agree. Very easy to read, very easy to use. So I'll add it to a chart, something like UNH here that's honestly had a lot of bearish momentum, but is currently starting to flip to the upside. As you can see here, it's pretty strong bullish momentum until the crazy news came out and all these gaps down started, obviously flipped right away to this strong bearish momentum.
Big underperformance there. Look at that bar around May 14th, 15th. Boom.
Yeah, exactly. So multiple news events just continually, slapping the stock down. You can see it right.
Stretched. Yeah, this one's interesting too, because the whole FinTwit was freaking out a lot when it made a new low, but its acceleration distance wasn't anywhere close to when it was gapping like that in the news.
Yeah,
It was like,
very true.
in this past July new low, right? Pretty interesting.
Yeah.
So when you look at those in comparison, like you can tell how outstretched of a sell-off event that was, and when it tried to make a new low, it just couldn't find liquidity to stretch it once again. So then you have the reaction back into range.
Yeah, you can definitely see a clear, there's like the pivot level here, like 250 went right under there, probably took out some stops, but you can see the momentum just wasn't there compared to these drops, obviously. And then, since that level kind of got scooped up, momentum started changing, and you can see pretty clearly right here where it did actually started flipping the green bars before the gap up, which is kind of cool. And then after the gap up happened, the bars obviously got a little bit bigger. Still not crazy momentum like we had, previously back here. Got kind of close. A little bit more of a consolidation period right now, but it is still flashing green, kind of slowing down. But it's an interesting one to watch going forward. And obviously during this consolidation period, we saw the gray candles or histogram bars as well. So
yeah, it's just like, no volatility.
Exactly. It was just chopping around. Then even here, like Brad was saying, like the momentum on this new low just was nowhere near the levels as it was.
Yeah, and that's when you're going to see a major bottom, right? Like they're fishing to try and trigger a bunch of liquidity. It doesn't work. Okay, we got to go back up.
Yep.
And then of course the news will come out later.
Yep. So the bottoming happens here. Get the news here. Gaps up.
Yeah, right.
We're there.
The overnight news.
Yeah.
But a very nice indicator. I mean, if you bring up the video right now, we'll see what it's looking like.
For sure. It's a good one.
This is a great one, a great one that's been kind of in range. Yeah, right. Yep, my algo's not doing so great right now. Look at that gray bars. They don't do that
gray bars.
So, maybe I could use this, right? Filtering out chop is something that's pretty difficult. And range expansion too. So it's very nice.
Yeah. I did not think of using this to filter chop when I was evaluating it. That's actually a cool use case.
Yeah, it makes sense. It gives you an easy way to do it. That's for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I guess the moral is go buy NVIDIA.
Yeah, that's been the moral for a long. But yeah, 60 billion in buybacks. Let's go. Nice.
I know. Yeah, killed it on earnings.
Was good, fail the highs, go back below. I mean, the market's been ticking up here for a while. We'll see.
Oh yeah.
But for you'd think today was worse, then it doesn't look so bad on the chart quite yet, at least.
No, not at all. It's really not that bad. It's really just, Friday sell-off. It's happened many times in recent history here.
But yeah. I mean, you can see it right here, right? You get that strong trend in May around the 19th. Price is breaking away from its moving averages. That's strength. And then strength just dilutes the entire time. And then you go back into a consolidation phase. You trend up, but the trend's getting weaker the whole time. So this does a great job. It did it on the downside too. It does a great job of highlighting that.
Yep, for sure.
And the ATR smoothing to even it out across assets is very nice too.
Yeah, very important. Very cool to have that always. Cool. As momentum filter by Chirag. Thank you, sir. Great submission. Let's go ahead and move on to just two more notable entries before we get to the winner announcement. First one is Bottom Catcher. This one's really cool. Whoops. Yeah, this one's a really fun one. Pretty simple. I mean, it literally just paints a couple labels on your chart. Doesn't, crowd your chart at all. Basically what it is, it's a higher time frame reversal detector designed to highlight decisive bullish turnarounds on longer term charts like the daily and weekly using stochastic momentum, the size of the candle body, which is ATR scaled, and relative volume. Basically, it's going to paint a label on your chart whenever, a good looking bottom happens. Pretty straightforward, good for swing entry points, good reversal setups. And it can help complement broader trend tools like all those trend following indicators we just looked at, market structure, whatever else you may use.
Yeah, basically condenses, price action, momentum, and volume all into one signal. So it's very nice.
Yep.
Very clean.
Sure. Very
We
clean.
talk about it all the time, but sometimes when you have so many options as a trader myself, it's like I sometimes can gravitate towards where expertise is kind of baked into the indicator. I think that's a pretty nice piece.
Yeah.
While simple, nice because I don't cloud my own decision making.
Right. Yeah. 100%. And then the next one we're going to show with it, kind of something that can be used. Doesn't matter what symbol you use it. It's just an overall cool overlay that we wanted to highlight for you guys is the intermarket strength heat map. This just basically puts over a little dashboard showing the relative strength of major asset classes like bonds, commodities, gold, and a little bit others that you can customize whatever you want it to be to the S&P 500. Just on a little overlay, so it's very cool. And then it just has colors, of course, green and red, showing the correlation to the assets that you have on there. You provide some cool contextual signals that you can use. Risk on environment, well, obviously equities green, SPY and QQQ with TLT, which is bonds red. Risk off, equities red, bonds green. Then this one's interesting because it's flashing now, is inflation and deflation watch, which is strength in commodities and weakness in bonds. So let's just pull these up on the chart. Pretty easy to understand these two, but they're simple but effective. So bottom catcher is the first one. And then was it intermarket strength heat map. So I'll add these to my chart. Let's pull up something like Netflix here. And then for the heat map, I like to stick all my overlays personally in my bottom right corner, usually with an offset of -50 and -50.
That's bottom.
And you can see, yeah, you can change all the assets there. Oh, yeah, sorry, I did that again.
Yep.
Bottom right. So we got it right down there. As you can see, pretty simple, easy to read. It's just comparing these assets to your benchmark, which is default of SPY. So it's showing SPY's, doing better than QQQ, definitely better than bonds right now. Gold is kind of neutral, and then commodities is flashing green. And if you remember, it said when commodities is green and bonds is red, it's an inflation and deflation watch, which is definitely true in this market scenario. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's a nice table.
Yeah. See, you can just have it up there. Why not have it up? It doesn't really take up much space, and you can customize it to, any assets that you want. Your benchmark and your 4 assets you want to compare to. You can change the 3rd or 4th if you wanted, from commodities. You can change the look back, customize the Z-score, the strength threshold, whatever you want to do, which is nice. And then bottom catcher, if you can see, there's not much going on in the chart other than these labels, and that's all this one needs. It's simple, but that effective. Like, as you can see, like these 2 labels, it's literally catching these bottoms pretty nicely. Like it caught the April 2024 low, pretty much caught the March lows, had another low there, but, pretty close there. And you can see why it was marking on these green, reversal candles based on, RVOL, stochastic momentum. And
I love these. I think Rock submitted a bunch of awesome entries. I mean, I had a lot of fun looking at his work.
Do we got any going in the NASDAQ? We could scan for them quick.
What, these bottom catchers? Let's see. Let's do condition.
Hey, can we go or dumpster, maybe the Russell?
Yeah, maybe the Russell.
Yeah. Let's see. I think it's
so it's easy. It has a signal. This is what I'm talking about with the signal registration. As long as you enable register signals, which should be automatic, then they can be used in all aspects of the platform. So as you can see, Mike, the last 15 candles, and then we'll change over to the NASDAQ Composite 3000. Just like that, we have a scanner for these bottoms. So you can have a watch list of these. You can set this scanner to email to you. You can do a lot with scanners in the platform and do a lot with these custom indicators in scanners. So this is the only place where you can use your custom indicators in scanners, especially that quickly.
Actually, quite a few here. Let's just take a quick look at some. So as you can see,
Nice. See?
yeah, all these will have a bottom signal within. I saw CrowdStrike. Let's check out this one.
Yeah, look at that.
Look at that. Yeah, very nice. Caught that bottom over there. This is a sick indicator, honestly. Like, just looking for these, potential reversals off the lows is pretty fun.
And if you have your own watch list of stocks, you could enable this scan across those and then have it email you against any time frame that you want for those signals and what is true for the day. So, obviously we're showing off daily here, but it's really flexible and really useful. It can be used in smart checklists too.
Yep. Yeah, you can change time frames to whatever you want. You can do it within X amount of candles. You can add in fundamentals with this if you wanted to, combine them up. However you guys want to do it. Yeah, weekly for sure. Any other
strong bottoms. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a great way to filter for things that are extended but showing signs of life, like extended down, showing signs of life. It cuts a lot of noise.
Yeah, 100%. I see you got Crocs on there. Look at that one.
Nice.
Let's see, it's calling it so far.
I took that trade. What's up?
There you go. There's your confirmation bias right here. Perfect.
No jinx.
This is an awesome indicator.
Love it. Yeah, super simple, super easy. Yeah, catches bottoms for you. Pretty straightforward.
Look at Airbnb.
Oh, oh yeah. Look at that.
Look at that. Wow.
Filled the gap. Look at
All
called
hail
before the
Rock.
gap fill.
Yeah, nice work, Rock. Thank you.
See out there? Oh yeah, he is. Hell yeah. Love it, Rock.
It's so nice that you guys put all this up for free in the community. I know there's a lot of work that goes into these pieces, but a lot of them are open source, even all the way down to the code. So you can mix and match, manipulate, join them together in your own TrendSpider accounts, make them different, better, however you see fit, which is really cool.
Yep. Awesome. So yeah, that was all the ones we were going to show you guys for notable entries. So now let's get into the winners. That's what we all came here for. Now we're going to announce who's about to win some money and some free TrendSpider subscriptions. So very, very excited to do this. Again, let's go over the categories real quickly. There was four different categories. Yeah.
So I briefly, before we got started, wanted to touch on categories a bit and why they were important. So hackathon, we had 10,000 up for grabs, 2,000 top prize, 500, second prize for each category. I wanted to break the categories across different aspects of the platform that help highlight what we do best or also what the community loves. So yes, as we know, people love on-chart indicators. They're some of the most popular ones that we have. We built some ourselves, have them in there, but we've seen amazing takes on the on-chart indicator too. As we showed off at the beginning of the show, we have various candle coloring indicators that were submitted, various range indicators that were submitted for futures traders or intraday scalping traders. We saw all the way down to what we just saw with Rock's single tag type indicator, right? So there's a big range of what can be on chart and it's really flexible. You can bring in all types of data, compile all types of data, and instead of having 20 indicators on your chart, show one. So that's a beautiful piece when it comes to consolidation and making charts legible and beautiful. The next one was, best lower indicators that are bound in the range of, 0 to 100. They mostly, are smoothing price action or some type of derived math, but also like we've seen, we can input tables within those indicators as well. Trade Seekers did a great job of converging both an overlay and a lower indicator into one piece. So the flexibility of JavaScripting for like this whole suite of financial tools really opens up what we can do with merging them. So that was cool. Like I even saw there was one that wasn't deployed as a lower indicator or submitted as a lower indicator, but there's an options table that could be even viewed as a lower indicator as well. So there's a lot of flexibility with our scripting, unlike other platforms where there's a native language that is only usable on the platform. Our platform is JavaScript's coding, which is kind of like, a bigger, the largest development framework. And it, hopefully y'all had fun pushing the boundaries of what was possible in there, because I think even from our point of view, we don't know, right? Like, we built some things. It's a beast of a product, and what you can do in there. Even I was surprised to see some of the takes in the renditions.
Yeah.
So next, it kind of leads me into custom overlays. It's something that is a strong point for us. So display any type of data in an overlay on a chart. It's useful. A lot of the data is able to be found in different parts of the platform, but it's not always useful in the moment. So these overlays are very useful in the moment. They can calculate things, much like we were showing with the benchmark indicator. And they can be pieces that you can trigger on and off of your charts for quick looks at, fundamental metrics across assets, or, a broad range of things. We had options maps. We had options maps that were pulling data. So a lot of cool stuff with custom overlays too. And then kind of a standout feature for us is data integration. So at TrendSpider, you can use any free API or any API that you personally support and want to port in the data. So basically any external data set to power your indicators. So that's something that you pretty much can only do here. So you can pull in outside data if we don't have it. If you want to build an indicator that uses it, you can do so. And we wanted to show that off. So we saw some cool ones in there too.
Yep. Awesome. So those are the 4 categories that you guys could have submitted to in the hackathon. And now we're going to announce the winners. So let's get ready for that. The first one we'll announce here is the best on chart indicators. So let me get my drum roll.
Yeah,
please.
before we go with announcing this, the only thing I want to say is we had a lot of great submissions for this one. It was probably our most popular category. Yeah. I was impressed across the board, and I think Dan can reiterate this as well. It's like very hard to pick a winner, but just some amazing submissions for this one.
Yeah, 100%. So many submissions, so many good ones, but let's get into it.
So we'll reveal some winners, and then we'll dive into the winners before the next category.
Yep. Let's do it. Get our drum roll going.
We have
on-chart indicators. Woo! Love it. So you see,
very nice.
Yeah. Congrats to these 3: Pietro, Tushar, and Chirag. First place is the multi-scale VWAP gradient cloud. Runner-up, we got the Sean breakout buddy, adaptive Donchian channel, and then auto fib bands. So we can go ahead and take a look at those real quick.
Which were 3 just like very well executed pieces. Honestly, across the board for different reasons too.
Yeah, for sure.
Let's dive in.
So multi-scale VWAP gradient cloud.
Yeah, Pietro, this one was very clean. Thank you for adding it.
Yeah, super clean. Essentially plots VWAPs based on different timeframes that you could set. 5 continuous VWAPs, that is.
Take down the graph.
Oh, yeah. Sorry about that. So I have it pulled up right here. The multi-scale VWAP gradient cloud. Again, it plots 5 VWAPs based on the last 5 days, 5 weeks, 5 months, or quarters, selectable by the user. And pretty straightforward. It just plots them around your chart. We'll take a look at them right now.
Yeah, and it really builds off a concept that we haven't even built internally, but a VWAP is one of our most popular used indicators. Brian Shannon's done a great job of evangelizing and championing this trading style. And this indicator did a great job of pulling together quickly pivot points too, with scale to show off trends. So it was like a very interesting volume weighted way to quickly show the trend. So
Yeah.
Big fan of this one.
I adore it too.
Yeah.
This also, if you trade a VWAPs, if you've read Brian's book, I think it's fantastic. One of the things he talks about is VWAP handoffs, and this sort of emulates that, right? It's not exactly handoffs, but they're staggered in a way that is logical and systemic, like a handoff would be.
Yeah.
So I think it's really useful because when you see something like this, like it's just telling you that like it is trading above every VWAP that you plot. So yeah, I thought that one was excellent.
Yeah. And it says handoffs right here. It's basically kind of when one VWAP from the past gets kind of overtaken or passed off to a new one, like kind of like right here. And then it continues forward, and then it just keeps plotting them newer and newer, and you can use it across all time frames. And you just have to change the the scale from like week to month. I think on the 15, the week was pretty good. You can see right here. Go to the weekly.
Yeah,
it transforms pretty well.
I mean, a big one for day traders is going to be the day option, right? So if you go to the day option and you go across any of equities like a Meta on a 15-minute chart, it's going to show your trend for the day. It's going to show entry areas. It's going to show risk areas, and it has kind of all of it baked in. And when you can see very vividly when those clouds start to burst in the other direction. Even right now with the SPY, like, look, we can't even get above that cloud. We had a nice uptrend going. And as soon as we broke through, now we're kind of stuck to the downside. This will keep you out of a lot of trades that aren't trending in your direction for the day. It's a very popular way for gauging the day direction all the way down to, like a 5-minute chart.
That's cool. The cues,
man. Yeah, this is the cues. Nice.
Yeah.
You can see how useful VWAPs can be when plotted this way, though. Like it's telling you it's starting to reverse. It hasn't fully reversed, right? There's other bands that need to cross first, but be nervous right here.
What does Meta look like right now?
Let's not.
Yeah.
What is up there on the right? Yeah, same thing. I mean, like it keeps you in trend so nice. And I know Brian's written a lot of material about this. And it seemed to kind of encapsulate a lot of those handoffs and trend gauging metrics into one piece. It's scannable, backtestable, backtestable within a range that it prints, but mostly scannable is probably the most useful. But I love this one for on chart just because it did a lot of things very well and very clean. It was very easy for traders to understand the trend. And there was a lot of other contenders that were similar in that aspect of it, but the clean nature of the plotting was a standout here.
Yep. Very clean. Very clean. Cool. So let's get into the next runner-up winner. And this one, by the way, congratulations for winning first place in on chart. Very, very competitive. Winning $2,000 for that. Very cool. And then next one here, we got the Sean breakout buddy.
Another standout. Very nice.
Yeah, definitely stand out. He even created a whole video for it that you can go ahead and watch right here on the store page. The core concept
let's give Tushar a little props for the video. Nobody else did that, and that was such a nice touch.
Honestly,
I respected the hell out of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think with our grading scale, it was meant to highlight all different aspects of this, and that was a standout piece. But we do want to mention, like, you can add videos to your description if you want. That will help users understand it, and it was definitely a standout piece by Chande. Outside of the indicator was great itself, but the description was just and documentation around it was fantastic.
Yeah. Yep. That was a big part of the grading or the judging scale. So bravo for that for sure. For sure. So core concept of the breakout buddy. It's a price channel indicator that uses volatility to automatically vary the look back length and offset values of the standard Donchian channel. So instead of just a standard, range basically of the Donchian channel uses, it uses market volatility to automatically vary the look back length and offset values, which is very, very cool. Has some variables that you can set here. But real quick, they use the ATR range as the measure of volatility. But since as an open scale, they use the stochastic calculation to create an ATR oscillator with the fixed 0 to 1 scale. And then when it's at its highest value, the price channel length and look back are at their lowest, and vice versa. So very dynamic, very cool. You can customize these variables, the min and max channel, max lookbacks. Same with the offsets, and then the paint long and paint short. If you want to see long or short trades, you can do that. So and it's a beautiful indicator. Let's go take a look at it on the chart. The Shonda breakout buddy. So if we take a look, I was looking at the Roblox daily. I thought this was a pretty awesome signal right here. And you see a beautiful indicator as it breaks above the dynamic line and it signals, an entry signal. It paints green for whenever you're supposed to be in the trade, which is very awesome. He did note in the description that it's not really made to be used for exits, rather, entry and short signals, which it does beautifully right here. As you can see, it started this breakout here on Roblox in April, and then it was painted green all the way up and pretty much held that trend and broke below the channel right as the downtrend ended. So beautiful indicator there.
Yeah, that bottom band seems to be a nice trail stop too.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, and he said you can use it as exits if you wanted either band. And you can see it's using it as pretty nice support right there. You can set alerts at these lines as well. Kind of cool that it highlights the lines as you hover over it. But yeah,
and you could use a rock, bottom catcher within the last 30 days, and then this above the green line. That's nice. And just an example of mix and matching some of these pieces together to create your system.
Yep. Yeah, 100%. Definitely combine the stuff. You can combine all these indicators and scanners, can combine them in strategies, your own indicators your own logic that you want to build and put in. So much customizability for you guys, especially now with 80 plus new indicators. So congrats to the breakout buddy by Tushar. Very, very nice entry. He's winning $500 for this. Awesome. So let's get on to the final winner, the third place winner on chart, which is another great one, the auto fib bands. This one was by Chirag. Go ahead, Brad.
Yeah, I just want to say this one's very simple but very useful.
Yes.
What it does is plot fibs in a look back range over time. It utilizes our auto fib feature. And what it allows you to do is back test Fibonacci levels. It's a great take on that. One that's kind of sometimes hidden or people don't like to allude to, but level plotting indicators are historically hard to back test, right? Like Fibonacci's and stuff, because they're changing as the range change. Yes. So a ever long string of those does kind of open up strategy testing for fibs, and it opens it up as a tool to be used. So you're using the orb breakout and you want to have your stop set to 50% of the range. You can match the look back periods and use this tool as your trailing stop, or the 618 of the range, like however you want to derive it. So it's a really useful indicator on its own, and it's a really simple but yet awesome take on a heavily used piece that we didn't have in the platform up to this point, but it's going to be really useful for traders in the future.
Yeah. No, the back testing aspect is awesome. Like Brad said, like the levels are constantly changing, and the fact that this constantly, is repainting means that you can go back and test, finally, that you couldn't do before, all these different Fibonacci levels, and use them in your strategies even more so. It's pretty simple the way it works. You just set a look back period or the length, and then it just plots the Fibonacci levels right on your chart and updates continually throughout time. So let's take a look at it on our chart real quick. Let's see, auto fib bands. Put it on something like on the HIMS daily here. And if you look into the settings, you can see this is the look back length. Looks like it defaults at 265, but again, you can change it to anything that you want. And then you can plot or make visible or not visible any of the levels. So the 61A, of course, the 50%, 38.2, all the Fibonacci zones, and very beautiful indicator on your chart.
Yeah.
And you can enable and disable any lines that you don't want to see if you don't care about some, for example. And more importantly, you can use it in back testing too, which again is something that it's definitely historically tough to do with something like level indicators like Fibonacci's. So
yeah, well, you need to bind them in time somehow. So there's some, you have to bring your bias on how you want to do that.
Yeah.
And I think this was executed pretty elegantly with the look back windows. And honestly, pretty smart. If you go to, like this one and you scroll back in time, well, you do have some time here, but it will paint. Yeah, it'll keep painting literally forever.
Yep.
Yeah.
Which is exactly what you need.
And that's what makes it usable in back testing, right?
Exactly.
And then look at every time, something as simple as a 265-day window. Every time you get back tested in that 50% of that range, you have really nice reactions from it.
Yeah, you see that clearly
that's
here.
Not by coincidence. There's a lot of algorithms that use those to bind themselves.
Even just these recent two right here.
Yep.
So yeah, very nice indicator. Yeah.
Very nice to be paired. Works on all the way down in time frames. We'll work on your futures 1 minute chart. We'll work on 15-minute chart. And it's just a really nice piece. Yeah.
Yep.
If you set the look back, a little bit more reasonable in 265, you're gonna get a nice range.
Are you thinking like lower? Like what do you think? Like 100 or
periods?
50? There you go.
Yeah. Right.
You see, it's like kind of making lows right now, but
yeah. Right.
But yeah, way easier than just going and manually drawing your fibs throughout time. So very
and it just it gives you a way to understand how price reacted historically to those fib levels, which is really cool.
Yeah, historically very hard to do because you'd have to go back and plot the Fibonacci levels throughout history, which that's going to take forever, and this just automates the process. So bravo, love this one. It's definitely something people have been looking for, so love to see it on the platform. Thank you, Chirag. Win a free annual subscription to TrendSpider, so congratulations. All right. Those are our 3 on-chart indicator winners. And now we can go ahead and move on to the best lower indicators.
My favorite category.
Your favorite?
Yeah, these were cool.
Yeah, there's some very cool ones in here.
Dan, you have anything you want to say about lowers?
No, I think I think there's some really cool entries in here, but I don't want to mention any of them. I wanted you guys to do your thing.
All right,
cool, Mike. Well, same thing from me. Some really great stuff. It was hard to choose. I think the winner was executed perfectly, fantastic. The runner-up here, a very obscure piece, and I love to see the range between something that's very common all the way to something that I had never seen before. And I saw a lot of that with this category and a lot of that with on chart. And just overly very impressed with the entries overall.
Yeah, lots of great ones. These are probably the most 2 popular, like you said. So let's get into it. Let's see who won.
All right, let's draw a winner.
Let's do it. Best lower indicator.
Very nice, Dr. Goose. You deserve that one.
Goose.
Yes.
Goose is awesome. He submitted so many cool indicators. Runner up, we got Adrian Letta. And then at number 3, we got Fat Infantry, I think is how you say that, with the relative rotation histogram. But number 1 here at Dr. Goose is the RSI divergences indicator.
Yeah, and these 3 are standouts. I really love relative rotation histogram. I really love ADT. It was wild. RSI divergences, you know, as Dan has tried and I have tried, it's not quite as an easy one to pin down, and definitely not easy to pin down that beautiful. So I think the execution with the look back windows was fantastic. While a simple concept, you can even see it in the store. Like the virality of the search of this concept is just so big. We'll use it a lot across socials. So thank you, Dr. Goose. It was an amazing execution here.
Yeah, no, it's beautiful. Beautiful indicator. But of course, what it does is it spots RSI divergences. And unlike the candle ones that we went over earlier, it actually plots the RSI and lines on the RSI to show you exactly where they're occurring. And it's going to show you regular bullish divergences, bearish ones, hidden, and then hidden bullish and bearish divergences. And then, like I said, it has lines that are automatically drawn on the RSI indicator to show when the bullish and bearish divergences are happening, and they're color coded. So it makes it instantly super easy to see whether it's a bullish or a bearish divergence. So yeah, it's a beautiful indicator. So let's go in there and just take a look at it.
Yeah, and it shows them as they form too, before they're fully confirmed, which was very nice to add.
Oh yeah.
I know Dr. Goose came back to this with a couple revisions through the hackathon, and that was also great to see everyone talking in Discord and figuring out how to make their entries better. I think that's, you know, really stood out here for two categories where we had, you know, over 40 entries apiece.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, have it pulled up on the chart right here. And as you can see, if we drag it up a little bit, you see the RSI, of course, and then you see these lines that are plotted across, which in this case, in April here, it spotted this green line, this green bullish divergence, which basically means the price made a lower low right there, while the RSI was making a higher low, indicating, you know, the bullish divergence. And that did mark this pretty nice low here on Oscar Health. So that was cool to see. If you scroll back here, and this will do it on all stocks, of course, automatically. Let's see, it was another cool one. It was, yeah, like right here too. It marked a couple. Let's see, this one is really cool.
Daily. Yeah, this one's all right. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's another higher low on the RSI while the price made a new low right there. What were you saying, Brad? You saw one?
ETH daily.
The ETH?
Yeah. Ethereum.
Let's see it. Let's see it. Let's see. Nice. So you see. Wow. Yeah, that one is sick. Look at that.
That's
yeah. So you got a high right there, and then price made a higher high right there, and then the RSI was making a lower high. Very, very easy to spot. Clear bearish divergence right there. And they kind of did it again.
Confirmed the other day too, but I mean, like you could see this for a while too. Like you had the big push, and then momentum kind of roll over. And it's been kind of stuck. Go ahead, Dan.
Yeah.
No, I was going to say, I think this is really cool because when you draw divergences manually, people often miss the acceleration of the divergence, which you have right here. Like you have lower peaks on momentum, right? In, I guess, mid-August, right? Another new high, but an even lower, right, peak.
Well,
in a lot of these cases, it's across the 50, the middle line, right? I guess it's 0 or 50.
Yeah, 50 line. Yeah.
So it hasn't reset, so to speak, right? The divergence is still bearish and it's accelerating.
Yeah.
Right? You often see that before a trend reversal. Same thing in reverse. Like you'll see subtle divergence and then another low and a sharper divergence before it takes off. It's kind of concerning. So I love the way this does. Yeah. Those people miss it.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah, and if you open up the dialog box, all the look back settings are customizable, so you can switch it to different look backs if you want it, you know, against different time frames. You know, 7-day look back makes sense on a daily chart, whereas 7-period look back on like the 5-minute is going to give you a lot more signals. So. Yep.
Always nice to have the customizability in there, but yeah, again, beautiful indicator. And this one,
what are we looking like on SPY weekly right now?
Let's take a look. It's a good shout here.
Nothing yet, but that was a good one.
What is this
daily?
One?
Yeah, daily. Daily one's nice. I mean, that is nice.
That is nice.
I I mean, you can see it too. Like every push
Yeah.
to a new high the past couple weeks has just been like sold off. I think it was yesterday. I didn't even realize they pushed to a new high yesterday. And then, pretty well rejected. Like the volume hasn't been there, momentum hasn't been there, expansion doesn't come from moves like that. But yeah, really nice indicator, really nice execution here for finding bottoms and being cautious. I would say be cautious at tops,
Yeah, for sure.
But
For sure.
This one won just, due to purely fantastic execution across the board.
Yeah, no, it was amazing. Very, very nice lower indicator. Probably the best RSI divergence indicator I've seen overall. So Dr. Goose, amazing work, amazing work. You get number one, $2,000 for this indicator.
Yeah, congrats.
Amazing work. Let's move on to the runner-up here, which is the ADT by Adrian Letta.
Now this one was wild.
This one is very wild. Yeah. So basically, this indicator is based on a normalized sum of multi-look-back price changes divided by the ATR, which is coined as ADT. And it can show both price momentum and acceleration, and exploits the change in the ADT for different time frames, which is correlated with the price changes. It uses two moving averages of ADT, the fast and slow, which are on the code as moving average fast and moving average slow. And then there's some optional ones you can add as well, using the 4 hour and the 1 hour for better timing. And then there is also this dotted line called the gap curve, which is very cool. Kind of represents the difference between the fast moving average and the slow moving average. So it's kind of like a MACD, almost kind of like juiced up MACD, I would kind of describe it. Take a look at it here in a second. But yeah, let's just, the color logic is this: neon green above 0, magenta below 0. Basically kind of shows like crossovers of the two moving averages, the fast MA and the slow MA. So let's go ahead and take a look at this one on the chart, because it is a very, very cool one to see, honestly, in action here. I go and plot it. Take a look here. Let's see. Pull up something like QQQ. I think it was pretty nice on the daily charts.
Yeah.
So you can see right here.
Merging signal came pretty early here too. It's nice.
Yeah. So you see the fast and slow line are right here, this orange and the green line. And then the dotted line is the difference between them. So essentially when you get, a cross down like you saw right here, this will go from green to magenta. You can see it highlights beautifully as you kind of scroll your mouse across it, which is just a nice touch. Then you have the histogram bars, which indicate, strength of the trend. So as you can see here, we have the cross down, kind of a gray candle, and it was gray through here. And then as the right here, when it almost looked like it started to consolidate, we actually flipped to red or magenta here. And then we got another leg down. And then
and that orange move line is pretty interesting too, because when you start to trend above it or below it, it can give some pretty early signals there, which is interesting.
It can. And one thing I wanted, this is one of the two indicators from the hackathon that I'm thinking about actually using on a regular basis. I really, really like this one. The other one's the RSI divergence one we just saw. But what I thought was bad about this one was really busy. Like there's a lot on the screen, a lot of colors, a lot of stuff. It's hard to read. One of the nice things about it is you can turn a lot of that off. The developer of it was kind enough to give us a lot of options to customize it. Not every indicator has those. And if you like to keep things simple, you can just have the histogram if you want that, or just have the yellow line, right? It's completely up to you.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, you can do that by just clicking here and just toggling the visibility right there.
Yep. So beautiful execution here. And this is what we were talking about earlier. It's like, what is possible in our scripting engine? I mean, we've done things internally, but this is the first chance for the public to play with it. And since it's JavaScript, the answer is probably like a lot ever going of what you can do. And it shows right here, because you can use basic HTML scripting for styling, and it just comes out beautiful.
Yeah, no, it's, Dan says, a little bit busy, but it is a beautiful indicator. Really spent some time in the detail on this one. And
it works across crazy timeframes. Like go to the 15-minute.
Yep.
It's robust there as well.
Yeah, for sure. See how it reacted this morning. The cross
Nice
down.
trends. Yeah.
It's all flashing red still. That's interesting. Yeah. That's how the market's doing right now, by the way. It's still kind of in that consolidation range, but not looking super great. So, yeah, congratulations. You won $500, Adrian Letta. Thank you for the submission.
And this example is pretty interesting because like look at the burst to the left, how it trailed above the yellow or orange move line. And then this most recent burst, it almost the black line with the dots stayed below, which is like kind of like a smooth version of it. And if you look back at the burst before, we were well above it. So like scroll back a little bit more. Yeah, like you're well above that trailing because you got beat down so hard. So it's a nice piece to actually show when to go to risk off based on that move line for trend direction, which is a little bit hidden in here.
Yeah, I mean, look at that. It was like a perfect like flip right here and just nasty downturn.
Nice for keeping you in trend and also took you out of it when the trend, I mean, it did make a new leg there, like a big one. I'm just assuming it was somewhat news-based, but really as you come into that low there, I mean, like it's getting quite dicey, you know, somewhere around the 19th of August there, a little bit to the left when it breaks above the yellow line. I mean, at that point, you know, probably some news took it much lower, but that's, if you're short from above, that's a great consolidation area to consider closing up, you know, and then everything kind of reset again. But again, it didn't reset to a level that was a new low below that orange move line. And then you start to see the trend completely reverse, gap back that range that it lost, and continue in the other direction. So very nice execution here. Very nice piece. A lot hidden within this one to pick apart, as Dan said. And use at your own discretion all across the platform too. It's really nice.
Yeah. Awesome.
So love this one. Nice work.
Yeah. Very good job. Very good job. All right. And then the runner or the third place winner here, the relative rotation histogram. And this one was by Fat Infantry. Let's take a look. Let's take a look. This one is pretty cool.
This one, I think, is for the Trader Lion, Weinstein style phase traders, relative strength traders, and a very, very cool way to break it into a histogram.
Yeah, no, definitely interesting. So yeah, as Brad said, it uses, the relative strength that a lot of people use, but builds on the relative rotation graph by combining the relative strength ratio and RS momentum. So yeah, it brings the relative momentum, relative strength directly to TrendSpider, allowing you to visualize and act on sector rotation and stock leadership within their existing workflow. Basically, it compares any given asset to a benchmark, which is SPX by default, which is what you usually use when, looking at relative performance, relative strength and all that. You can use it for scanning, use it for, identifying swing trading, and, just riding momentum. So
yeah, it's a really cool way to take relative strength and bind it into a histogram. I don't think I've ever even seen that before, but it was sweet in use.
Yeah, so let's take a look at how it looks. The relative rotation histogram here. Right there. And something like the daily, and you're going to want to go into the settings, and by default the benchmark symbol is SPX, of course, so you want to compare it to individual stocks, not as much ETFs. I was looking at it at something that was just running up, just for an example, like MSOS. This cannabis sector ETF has seen quite a lot of momentum lately, obviously, as you can see, compared to SPX. Basically how it works is, the greener this is, the more this asset is outperforming the benchmark.
Right.
In a nice histogram there. And if we kind of scroll back here, you can see, it's reaching levels. The cannabis sector kind of tends to do this. It just kind of shoots up on some crazy news like it did back here in September 2023. And the histogram is getting pretty close to that level right there, which is its relation to the SPX. And you're seeing that here. So
yeah, and it gives an early signal. Like as soon as these, I mean, especially if you're looking at small caps, things that are derived outside of the SPY that end up running on an SPX, but you can compare any symbol. So It's pretty useful in that aspect to compare strength within symbols, you know, and get like early signals. I think in the description, it's like talking about maybe you're in a phase 2 of Weinstein, and then, you know, looking for leaders through that as a scan filter, which is a very nice ad. So using it as a scan filter for leaders, using it to visualize leaders and strong trends and things that are, you know, leading the major indexes, it's a beautiful piece.
Yeah, most definitely. And yeah, it's again pretty unique that they put it into a histogram. Like usually these RS indicators are pretty much just like numbers or a line, but you know, making it into a nice looking histogram, definitely a nice touch. So good job there
too.
Yeah. Cool. All right. So, you know, that was the third lower indicator. We got a couple more categories to announce here. Moving on to the overlay winners. So again, custom overlays are like those kind of tables that you see across the charts that pull in data. So
yeah, we had some really cool ones for this. So a lot of cool entries here, a lot you can do with that table. I was happy to see people use interior, you know, data and display it in a table. That was definitely the point of this, and it, you know, worked out.
Yeah, no, for sure. So without further ado, let's go ahead and see who won. Let's get open our soundboard, get the drum roll going. Woo! All right.
Nice. Rock won twice in this one. Hell yeah.
Yeah, Rock Reagan went off in this category. But number one, we got James Chellis with the Flowbot Unusual Options Flow. And Rock Reagan 2 times. The analyst ratings table and then unusual options table. So bravo to Rock Reagan on those.
Yeah, it was close between these. Both Rock and James did unusual options table. They were both beautiful. Rock's has a lot of beautiful parts of it. James has a lot of beautiful parts to his as well. They're both great additions, and the analyst table was absolutely beautiful. I could see myself having that on chart all the time.
Yeah, super useful. It takes the basically what like our what's happening now, just sticks it right on your chart and color codes it too, I believe. So very cool.
Yep.
But here, starting with the winner, the Flowbot, winner of $2,000 for this. Pretty straightforward. It just basically pulls unusual options flow and plots it right on your chart on a nice little overlay.
Yeah, and that's like has a DTE range there, 7 to 14 days. So to pull, you know, kind of options that are near expiration.
Yep, and I believe it's customizable too. It just defaults to that, and it'll show you put call ratios, top expirations, top strikes. Yeah, lots of cool stuff. Designed to cut out 0 DTE churn, which is switchable on and off as well, which is a nice touch. So let's pull it up.
Really nice. And I mean, it's going to be both of, you know, both options tables will be insanely powerful with full options data soon.
For sure. Yeah, for sure. So we put on the lower indicator here and drag it up a little bit. Got it here pulled up on Palantir. As you can see, very nice color coding, makes it pretty easy to understand and read. The first thing you're probably going to notice is just this bullish sign, or it can also say bearish, of course. And then the DTEs right here, top strikes by premium. Obviously list the strikes where the out the money calls or in the money puts, the number of contracts, and then the premium all the way on the right, sorted by premium, so most traded based on premiums at top, and then the put to call ratio for the DTEs. And again, you can customize the DTEs, defaults to 7 to 14, can include or not include 0 DTEs, and you can change the rank by premium or by volume. So yeah, very cool stuff here. Pretty straightforward, just takes, you know, the options data and puts it into a nice table for you to see.
Yeah, and then you can dedicate the access to on chart too.
You can, yeah, you can. So if you wanted to, you could change this from a lower to the dedicated axis here. which actually is pretty nice.
Yes, and then pull it above all, and it'll be good.
Yeah. Oh, that's right.
Yeah, so very nice.
Yeah, very cool, very cool. Yeah, and you can edit it right here, the position below or above all. Boom. No, it won't interrupt your chart. So very nice submission there. Let's move on to Rock Reagan now. His 2 additions here, which is the analyst ratings table and unusual options tables. Whoops. Did I type analyst? Where is it? There it is. All right, so this one's pretty straightforward. What was that?
I was just saying this one's very nice.
Yeah, no, yeah. Very straightforward, just literally displays an analyst ratings table as an overlay on your chart, of course, with a customizable look back period so you can, set how many days back you want to go. And then let's quickly show unusual options table as well. Kind of similar to the Flowbot, but a little bit different overlay, a little different use case. But yeah, basically just displays an unusual options table overlay on any of your charts and just pulls the most recent options activity, unusual options activity for the current ticker on your chart, and puts into a nice little beautiful table. So let's just take a look at how they look, because these overlays are best when you just kind of take a look at them. Let's see, so analyst ratings. Let's pull up something like NVIDIA for this that just had earnings. And I usually like to, you can edit the offset to be like -50 and 50 if it's in the bottom right, so it doesn't get in the way there. But as you can see, for the last 5 days, these are all the analyst price changes or ratings, and you can update it to as many days as you want. We'll put it up to 10. As you can see, it grows a little bit. So pretty straightforward, but very useful. Nice to have on your chart.
Useful though, because if you add to a new sidebar our analyst panel, you'll notice that we don't have targets. So the big standout for this one is consolidating and confirming the action. Beautiful. And then having the target on your chart easily. You could toggle the view of this on and off, so it can just stay in your indicator dialog box.
Yeah.
And after an earnings or after some type of news event or even price action event, you can quick toggle this on and check. But it is a very good take on the data that they already had in the platform, and that we weren't really visualizing ourselves in our own widgets. So beautiful piece here.
Yeah, no, very, very nice. Simple yet effective once again. And then same type of thing with unusual options table right here. Again, both by Rock Reagan.
So this one, another really nice one. Amazing that you, Rock, added in the filter for bullish, bearish, neutral, sweeps, out of the money and in the money. It makes this table honestly fantastic.
Yeah.
So, great execution here. Beautiful table. Really good stuff.
Yeah, very easily color coded. It's pretty obvious whether the flow is bullish or bearish, just based on the colors alone. So yeah, very, very nice detail. Put it all together really nicely in there. Sweet. So yeah, Rock Reagan, congratulations for the 2 winners in this category. And then
beautiful use of interior data.
Yeah, for sure. And then the final category is best data integrations, which was by far, the most advanced. I don't know if you guys have anything to say about this, but basically you can use, external APIs or data sets to bring in external data to TrendSpider and build indicators off of that.
Yeah, and this capability opens up a lot. What you'll see here is a winner that used a third-party API to pull in financial data that we don't compute or didn't have accessibility to compute. So it just opens up. You can import and use Fred data. There's a lot of open APIs that you can use. I saw the NASDAQ open API being used in this, which is also cool. And it's important to realize that if we have some data set that you want, get some feedback there. But if you have data that you want, it can be displayed.
Dan, I think
I'll mute him, Mike. There you
okay,
go.
Yeah.
Cool.
Was I muted?
Oh no, you're just getting some feedback. It's all good.
We're getting double from your side.
Yeah.
But I don't know. The mic might have changed or something. That's weird. Okay, so what I was saying is this is an interesting piece where you can bring in any outside data into the platform and build indicators off it. You can use them to backtest. You can do this in the form of tickers as well, but this is a great piece that is not available elsewhere. So this probably wasn't our largest category of submissions, but it's something that I think people can have a lot of fun with in time, and we did have some good submissions for this. But what's available, especially in the crypto space with outside data, there's probably a bunch of free APIs that can be utilized here. So we'll see what's used in the future too.
Yeah. Awesome. So without further ado, let's go ahead and announce the winners of this category. Woo!
Hey!
Congratulations, Felix Bonka, Gustavus, and again, Rock Reagan.
Rock is on a roll.
On an absolute roll. So the indicators themselves, we got valuation dashboard, we got pair spread Z-score as the runner-up, and then in third place we got options term structure hunter. So let me go ahead and take a look at the store pages real quick here, which was first valuation dashboard.
Okay,
really
so
cool.
this one, very nice. Quite simple on the surface, but beautifully useful.
Yes. Yeah, basically what it does is it pulls raw fundamentals into basically a scorecard valuation right on your chart. So instead of, using Excel sheets or whatever else you use for fundamental data, you can put it right on your chart for the current symbol. And you can even change the weights based on different factors like it has, like price to earnings, yield, analyst targets, profitability, all that stuff. You see all these metrics right here that it includes.
The dividend yield, forward PE, very nice additions.
Yeah, and the PEG ratio for sure too. Brought in some cool stuff. So let's take a look at how it works on the charts. There we go. And he does need an Alpha Vantage API key, by the way. You can input it right in there, but it is working without it for now.
It'll work up to a certain API call limits for utilizes Alpha Vantage API. And then if you want to generate a key to use this outside of its limits, you can just go to their website and create a key.
Yep. Now, again, it's using external data. Very nice, very nice. But yeah, the way it works is that obviously it lists all the metrics, PE, forward PE, and basically based on the weights that you set in settings, it gives you a composite score. NVIDIA's currently 0.71. Anything above 0.7 is considered a good value. Anything below 0.3 is considered, like bearish or not so much of a good value. And yeah, the way you can use this is you can change the weights for each of these different metrics. So if you're the type of trader that wants to, prioritize forward PE ratios more so than anything, you can update the weights of that to something higher, like 5, 4, 3, whatever. You can play around with it.
Really cool though. Really cool.
Yeah, no, very cool. And as you can see, the composite score changes from 0.71 to 0.57 if you weight it more to the PE. So you just got to decide whatever you focus on the most in your fundamental analysis and update it. And yeah, it's your personal scorecard built right in the TrendSpider for fundamentals. And yeah, so we're much more than just, a technical platform. We have tons of fundamental data, SEC filings. Now with Sidekick, you can access all of it super easily as well. So
Palantir's forward PE.
Let's see. What is it? 243.
Oh, whoa.
527 PE. Price
Very
to book
nice.
62.
Might be a bit overvalued. Who knows? Let's look at
I don't
Amazon.
know. Amazon, let's see. No, whoops.
Don't make fun of Palantir, guys.
Yeah.
Not cool. Not cool.
It looks like we're not getting feedback from you, Dan, anymore, so you're good to unmute.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, that's very nice though. It brings it up quick. 4P on there. What's DK and G? I'm curious. That's interesting. You got a lot of interesting tickers there in the corner.
Yeah, for sure. He's those social tickers.
Yeah. So this is a very nice addition to anyone's chart, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Most of these metrics you should at least be aware of. And with this table, you can be, and they're computed accurately. I went through and checked all the math on this, and it's computed accurately, information you can trust.
Awesome. Yeah. Very cool. So that's the valuation dashboard. And that was number 1 for best data integration. So congratulations, Felix. You just won $2,000 for your work. Congratulations.
Nice. Yeah, congrats.
Running down to the last 2 here. Next one is the pair spread Z-score by Gustavus. This one is very interesting. It's kind of like a pairs trading style indicator. Compares 2 assets together. Basically what it does, it's designed to be like a market neutral tool to identify when 2 historically related assets diverge beyond their normal relationship, creating a mean reversion opportunity, kind of like a long short type of strategy you can use here. Basically when there's a high Z score, it means that the first asset might be overpriced versus the second. And a low Z score means it might be underpriced, and it does plot it really nicely as a lower indicator on your chart that makes it super easy to read. And then it also comes with a scanner on GitHub that he brought in here that scans the S&P 500 for generally tightly co-integrated pairs, which you can plot as Y and X assets in the indicator and find divergences in that and potentially get some trading opportunities based on them. So pretty cool stuff. Let's take a look at how it does on the chart.
Yeah, this is a very nice one.
Yeah. So I was kind of looking at this one. I'm going to change this color, but I was looking at this with Intel and SPY personally. If you go to the Intel chart,
nice.
It was, obviously not performing super well recently. Well, recently it got that good news with the government buyback or the stake in the government, but it traded this channel almost to the T. I mean, if you take a look here, you see the indicator on the lower here. When it's above this red line, it's indicating overbought. And right here, mark that perfectly. Oh, there we go. I was waiting for those to pop up. But yeah, the first dip here went way oversold. Mark the bottom.
The SPY. Yeah.
Top channel there was both called out on the indicator, and again right there, like almost to the T. And then right over here, it called this most recent bottom before the news. So I thought that was pretty awesome. Again,
it's a good visual to try and outrun, another relative strength play or a convergence, style indicator. But really nice oscillator here. And I loved the exterior scanner for the pairs that mostly move together. That was an interesting addition.
Definitely.
So even if you look at like Microsoft against Apple, it's pretty interesting too. You had Google against Apple in the past couple weeks, and mainly stories like Apple not going to develop AI, those other big powerhouses really developing AI. And you'll see it converge. And like now you're seeing a correction in the Qs, and Apple's the only strong one left. So, when you see big divergences in similarly traded assets, it's a big signal,
Yeah, no, for sure. And it works really well with the price compare indicator that we have too. So I'm gonna throw that in there. You can put 2 assets onto your main chart, the ones that you're comparing, of course, and then have this on your lower. Pretty cool use case. So yeah, you can see clearly right here the divergence with Apple falling here and Microsoft peaking on earnings, and it clearly marked the top of Microsoft there and the bottom of Apple. Very interesting.
Yeah, it had essentially been outrunning the rest of, I mean, if Apple's it's not the largest weighted one in the tech index, but it's a large weighted one in the tech index, right? So, Microsoft's large weighted too, and there's a lot of different things going on with NVIDIA's weight. But the point would be is like when you see an asset of a similar type outperforming some other benchmarks, it's something to be cautious about. And as right now, Microsoft's underperformance is something to take a look at.
Yep, no, 100%. 100%. So very cool. That was second place winner by Gustavus. You win $500 for this. Congratulations on that. And we got one final indicator we're going to show you guys. The third place winner for the data integration is the options term structure hunter.
Yeah, and this one was beautiful.
I did like this one.
Yeah. Works mainly for the SPYs and the Qs, which you'll get into. And ETFs, and was a little bit finicky. It seems like Rock had cleaned it up in the last day or so. Maybe that's not correct. But I remember talking with him, and the NASDAQ API was changing, but it was a really cool take on that, and soon it will be solved internally, so that's nice. I think there's a lot of potential with this indicator in time too. It's beautiful bias here.
Yeah, it takes advantage of the NASDAQ API, the free NASDAQ API, and it looks at 0 to 3 data for specifically SPY, QQQ, IWM, SLV, GLD, or I guess any ETS with 0 DTEs. Like Brad said, it could be a little finicky because it might only work at the end of the week since it's only 0 to 3 TE data, but it's Friday now. So let's go and take a look at the options term structure hunter. Get rid of this and this.
Yeah, very cool. Like this one showing off what is possible is quite awesome.
It is. And let's see. It is customizable, but looks like no mispricing found on SPY today. It might just be too close to the end of the week at this point. Let's see though. Here we go. QQQ has some good stuff.
There we go.
Yeah. This is really cool. So you can see it's updating in real time. It is getting close to the end of the week here on Friday. So it's like it's updating a decent amount, but really, really cool idea. What it does is it checks the actual IV of specific options and compares it to the expected IV. And if they're significantly lower, the mispricing, it shows the mispricing percent. It'll show them as, potential options to research based on, implied volatility, essentially allowing you to find quote unquote underpriced options based on implied and expected IV, which is an insanely cool idea. Very cool to see on the chart. Works with, ETFs. I don't think it worked with NVIDIA. Let's check. Oh, it does.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Very cool.
Yeah, especially it looks like it's working well towards the end of the week. And that's just kind of like their rules changed for their API pulling. Right. But I mean, an amazing piece here that I think in time is going to be probably one of our more popular assets. So amazing work, Rock.
Yeah, very, very cool idea. Good execution. And I'm excited to see where this one goes. As Brad said, it'll probably be updated over time, especially as we add more options data. So very excited to see the future of this data integration overlay. Cool. So those are all the winners, you guys. We just announced $10,000 in prizes, a total of 12 winners, or at least runner-ups and third places as well. But congratulations again to everybody who submitted anything for sure, and especially those two who won, because there's 80 plus indicators that were submitted, guys. It was not an easy choice for any of these. So we appreciate everyone that submitted. If you haven't, Check out the hackathon collection. You can see all 80. We only got through a small amount today. So
yeah, so many notables in here. We did our best to try and get through them, and we've been doing our best to highlight community features on social all week. We'll continue to through the weekend and honestly, like well forward. So thank you to everyone who participated in this. It was a really good jump start to our store, quite frankly.
I just want to say we've spent years building out scripting to make it actually powerful, right? This is unlike other scripting tools in trading. This has access to a lot of data, works across scanners and back testing. We've invested so much into this, and it's really humbling to see such cool stuff get built on it. The holy grail for us as a software company is to see other people building on top of the product, and this is what this is. These ideas came from you guys, not us, and that's what makes them special and unique, and what gives you a lot of variety. So I hope you guys like what you see here and find some use out of these. And I just want to also express some gratitude to those who participated in this. Building these, not easy. Even with the help of AI, it's a lot of work, and a lot of that work is mental work, like coming up with the idea, and then expressing that through code somehow. So, the developers who built these, they put a lot of time into it. They poured their souls into it, and I hope everybody here likes what they see and finds something they can use in this. So thank you, everybody.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, I couldn't have said it better myself. Beautiful execution from everyone involved. I love chatting with you all on Discord for the last month, helping you all bring code feedback and really tighten up these pieces. And, like I said before, we'll continue to feature you all, credit you all, and publishing is open. So go publish, your wildest dreams. And we'll feature them on social.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, even though the hackathon's over, you can publish indicators, scanners, and strategies all to the store, and we'll review them. And if they're good, we'll shout you guys out for them, because we love to see it. Love to see it.
Guys, just one final note for me. We're in the final stages of adding commerce ability to this. So starting sometime in September, you'll be able to sell your creations as well. You don't have to give them away for free like you do right now. You'll be able to put a price tag on it. If you put a lot of work into something, you'll be able to get rewarded for that work if other people like it. So details about how commerce will work on the store will be coming soon. But just know, if you have an idea and you just don't want to build it for free, you can start building it now. And in a few weeks, you'll be able to sell it here as well. And may the best indicators and the best ideas win.
Yep.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah, beautifully said. And it's a brand new marketplace. So almost like hitting the reset button compared to some other marketplaces that have been around for a while. This is a really great opportunity to get in on the ground floor and build like we had everyone do here. And as Dan said, in the next couple of weeks, we'll be rolling out, the ability for you to launch paid indicators and keep all your billing in-house. So it's, that's going to work beautifully as well. You won't have to handle any order processing or anything like that.
Awesome. Yeah, that's huge. Makes selling, your indicators super easy. Not super easy to do currently. So look, super excited to see that. But yeah, guys, and also the Labor Day sale is currently on. So you can literally go sign up for TrendSpider for $7, grab a trial and try out all these indicators right now if you wanted to for just $7. So definitely take advantage of that while it's here. And yeah, happy long Labor Day weekend. Thank you guys all for sticking around. You guys are real ones for sticking through all this, for those that are still here. Yeah.
Great event, Mike. Thank you so much for having Dan and I on live and setting all this up. And to reiterate what Mike said, until what day is it? Yeah, until the next Sunday or until Sunday, $7 trials. So try out what you saw here, $7, sign up for an account, try Sidekick. That's another great piece that we just added. Try these indicators reviewed by Sidekick. There's a million different ways to spin it. In the beginning of this call, we were reviewing consumer sentiment in Sidekick. That's a beautiful tool. It integrates with your chart and all different aspects of the data that we provide. So with these community indicators, it's going to create something truly special.
Yep. Yeah, this is literally just the beginning of this story, guys. So much stuff already submitted, and we're just going to keep getting more submissions. So I'm super excited to see this thing grow.
Yeah, congrats to all the winners and congrats to everyone who participated. We'll reach out to winners through email and get everything situated there in the, today, tomorrow, into the weekend.
Yeah, it's not a small amount of money we just announced too, $10,000. I mean, congrats, you guys. That's awesome.
Thank you, everyone.
All right.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank
That was
you,
a good
everybody.
time.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Thank you, everybody. Bye-bye.
See you later, everybody. Peace.